welcome back to Hot Mess Science. Today we're continuing our conversation on dominant and recessive traits. And you can't have a discussion about that until you bring up the controversial herb, cilantro. Cilantro is very controversial because there's a population that loves cilantro. There's a population that's indifferent to cilantro. And there's a smaller population that seems to be enthusiasts in hating cilantro. And it's been interesting to see that over the years. And now scientists are saying that the reason that we have this smaller population that hates this unassuming herb popular in Latino cooking is because they are actually genetically dispositioned to hate it. They are genetically dispositioned to eat it and think that they are eating bubble bath. It tastes like soap to them. So what we're finding is what we used to think was that you either love it or you hate it. And now what we're finding is that there's actually a group of genes that are specifically for your olfactory senses that determine whether you're going to be a cilantro hater or a cilantro lover. Or maybe you just don't care if there's cilantro or not. So it's interesting to ask people in your family. An interesting thing that's also been added to the conversation of cilantro is there's a company, 23andMe, that's been doing voluntary genetic testing. You buy a 23andMe kit, you send in your DNA, they give you all kinds of information. Well, in some of the kits, they give you a questionnaire. And one of the questions that 23andMe as a company has been asking is, do you like cilantro? And so what they've found is that there may be a tie to your genetic background or your ancestral background as to whether or not you like the herb. For example, if you are of Middle Eastern, North African, and Latino descent, you probably really like this herb because it's used in a lot of cooking and it's readily available. The population that seems to hate cilantro the most, even some reports up to 20% of the population, are people of Asian descent. And European descent seems to be somewhere, depending on the data that you're looking at, to be somewhere between 12 and 14% of the people who are from European descent despise cilantro. So find out these cilantro lovers and haters in your life. Another experiment that has to do with dominant recessive inherited traits that you may or may not have inherited from a parent is a chemical called PTC. And PTC is an abbreviation for a very long chemical that is very difficult to pronounce. And it's non-toxic, but it's very bitter. And some people have tied it to a chemical that exists also in some vegetables like broccoli and cabbage. And so a popular genetics test, you can get these papers that have the PTC chemical on them. And I will link where you can order such papers down in the comments of the video. And so the popular test is you take the paper that has the PTC on it, you put it on your tongue, and you see, do you taste PTC bitter chemical or do you taste just the paper? So it used to be believed that it was just one single gene and that being a taster was dominant and that you would either taste it and hate it or you would not taste it. And what we're finding now is that there are definite non-tasters and then there are tasters, and then there's another group of people who are considered super tasters, where they're almost magnified. They're actually having a magnifying tasting experience of the PTC. And those super tasters are the people that you're looking at that probably aren't enjoying broccoli and cabbage, and even red wine is something that PTC seems to be part of. So I'm going to take this piece of paper, I'm putting it on my tongue, and yeah, I'm a taster. I'm definitely a taster. So included now, I'm going to show you the rest of the people in my family, my husband, my 4 children, and see whether they're tasters or non-tasters. Because if I'm a taster, what does that mean for everyone else? Okay, here's Mr. Nichols testing the PTC chemical. Is he a taster? What do you taste? Paper or bitter?
Paper.
Not a taster. Okay, here's Eddie Nichols, one of 4 children that Mr. and Mrs. Nichols have had. Eddie, see if that paper tastes like paper or if it tastes bitter. Just put that on your tongue. Tell me if you taste anything. Yeah, you taste it, huh?
I taste paper, but then there's that small bitterness.
Oh, so you do taste some bitterness.
Yeah. Tastes like soap.
Okay, here's the other 3 of 4 Nichols children. Let's try our PTC papers. Go ahead and put them in on your mouth, on your tongue. Let's see what you taste. Do you taste paper or do you taste something yucky?
I taste something yucky.
Yeah.
I taste something yucky.
Nope.
And Allie doesn't taste anything.
Ruth, are you sure you taste something yucky?